My name is Katie Taylor, and I am a member of the graduating class of 2011. When Mr. Mulligan told me it was a tradition for a family member to introduce the senior banquet speaker, I was nervous, to say the least. After all, after my senior exhibition, I thought I was finished with public speaking for a while. However, I now realize that this is just another of the many growing opportunities that Thacher has provided for me ever since day one of freshman year when we had to get on that horse. So, thank you for allowing me the great honor and privilege of introducing my mom, Linda Davis Taylor, as tonight's speaker. Linda grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana, the daughter of Roscoe and Evelyn Davis. She has 4 siblings, one of whom is here tonight, Mr. Ronnie Davis, along with his wife Terry. Linda graduated from Emory University in the class of 1974. She then attended Emory University Graduate School of Business and became a Master of Executive Management in 1981. She began her career working in the admission office at Emory, then at Amherst College, Claremont McKenna College, and finally Scripps College. Somewhere along that line, she met my dad, James Taylor.
Yes.
Linda got involved with Thacher because of her love of speaking with high school applicants and learning what was going on in their lives. She was on the board of trustees at Thacher for 9 years. She is currently the president of the Pasadena investment firm and is the chair of the board of trustees at Scripps College. Linda Davis Taylor has played a major role in making a difference wherever she is, but most important to me, she has made a difference in our family. Both my sister, Della Taylor, CDP 2007, and I look up to her as a strong leader who has used her many talents to sustain family connections through generations. Our mother and father taught us to be honorable, to sit up straight, to say please and thank you, and most importantly, to never say, I can't do that. This simple rule has allowed me to do so much more here at Thacher than I could have ever dreamed of. It has not only helped me to fit in as a nervous freshman, but to thrive as an upperclassman. I must admit, though, I do still slouch a little bit. Sorry. I owe so much of my success to my mom, my dad, and my sister, who have supported me in every decision I have made. Mom, Dad, Della, thank you so much for everything you've done for me. My mother's speech tonight is entitled, It's All in Your Thacher Backpack. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the woman who sent me off to Thacher with the tools and inspiration I needed to fill my very own Thacher backpack, Linda Davis Taylor.
That sent me off to Thacher part, but I guess that's a good thing. Maybe that line explains the telephone call that Jim received a couple of weeks ago as Katie was thinking about this introduction. Apparently, as it was reported to me, Katie called and said, Dad, I'm terrified. I have to introduce Mom. It's really not so much the public speaking, but I don't know anything about Mom. And so perhaps those of you who are the brave parents here with us this evening who sent your kids off to Thacher can relate to that a little. Maybe they haven't been able to keep up quite so much with every day, but I think we all agree that even so, it's wonderful. So Katie, thank you for those kind words, and I know that everyone who knows Katie knows that she is really the one who's always ready to see the best in all living things. And her comments really say much more about her than they do about anything I could tell you about the wonders of life after high school. And also, like all of you parents here tonight, I must admit I've been guilty through the years of a fair amount of exaggeration about how tough things used to be and how my generation sacrificed so that things could be great for our kids. Sound familiar? So when Katie and her sister Della would tolerate these lectures, my years as a college admission dean provided rich material for all their mothers suffered to get where we are today Stories such as the trials and tribulations of life on the road as a college admissions officer, visiting 4 or 5 high schools a day, with every meal in a school dining hall. Finding my way from Thacher to Kate without the benefit of a GPS system or even a cell phone, all provided much good material for family stories. I recall, though, one story, when I told this one, I saw the possibility of true awe in the girls' eyes. I told them that I had actually been a member of the committee that started that necessity of modern college admissions, the Common Application. Mom, you invented that? How long ago was that? Way back in the 70s? Then when I told them we had to do it with paper and that we were actually not the beneficiaries of a successful .com startup, they said, oh, I thought so. But now a little more to the occasion at hand. And I really want to take a moment to offer a heartfelt thank you to the members of the class of 2011 for the privilege of sharing a few special words with you this weekend and with your families, and especially the Thacher faculty and staff who have done so much to help all of you reach this milestone. And I think looking out, I think we ought to take just a moment to ask all of the graduates to stand one more time together before tomorrow on this beautiful field where you've shared so many other great moments, so that we can applaud you. Graduates. It's a pretty great sight from up here. So congratulations not only to the students, but all of those near and far who have been a part of the adventure that has brought you to this moment, your graduation from the Thacher School. So think back, if you can, to the first time you arrived at the Thacher Gate and saw those solid native stone pillars inscribed Casa de Piedra. I recall well my first drive through the orange groves now 30 years ago in the fall of 1981. Yes, I was still in my 20s, believe it or not, Della and Katie, visiting Southern California for the first time as an admissions representative, as you've heard, for my alma mater, Emory University. I could never have imagined the twists and turns that would follow, and never in a million years would I have dreamed of standing before the class of 2011 with 2 beautiful Thacher daughters in the audience. So, to the degree that you might consider anyone invited to speak at your senior banquet a successful person, even someone such as me who, let's face it, you've never heard of before, what is my advice? 2 things. First, stay connected with each other, because your Thacher friends are incredibly special. And you will find that it is people and long-term relationships that provide the most richness and opportunity in your life. I saw a wonderful quote recently by an elderly man in Russia to tourists visiting his modest home, and he said simply, "My wealth is my friends." Second, when an opportunity comes your way, grab it enthusiastically, even, I might say, if it may not seem to be at that moment the perfect answer to your dreams, or something that is the thing you might be the most passionate about that day. Because you know the steps eventually do form a path, and you'll find that passion one adventure at a time. Let me tell you a couple of stories about how those 2 things, friendship and opportunity, can work together. About a decade ago, long after those college admissions days had ended, Thacher invited me back for a visit and asked me to get involved, just as Thacher invited you in about 4 years ago and challenged you to build Thacher's great legacy and create your own chapter. A friend from one of the colleges where I'd worked asked if I would consider meeting some of the Thacher administrators. Perhaps there was a volunteer role I could fill that would be useful. Well, that visit turned to Thacher some 20 years after my first visit, led to the chance, as you've heard, to become a member of the board, to get to work with Mr. Mulligan and all the faculty and staff, and to get to know the school in a totally new way. And this happened only because one friend took the time to ask. I had never been on a board before.